we're back to discuss The Magnificent Seven, and if you saw our review, I mean, it is an average movie. There's nothing terrible about it. There's nothing outstanding about it. I thought that it was kind of disappointing that they didn't find more humor in the movie. There wasn't really that much in there. A couple of lines here and there, a couple of pieces of dialogue here and there. The way they split up the ensemble cast in the end fight made sense, but it didn't feel like they did a whole lot with them. It was just they were with this faction of people and these guys were with this faction of people, and some of them died and some of them didn't, and in a way it was almost like more realistic than a normal Western would be, where you don't have these dramatic
and
death sequences and stuff like that happening. The only like remotely dramatic death was the boss at the end. Like that's the only one that really.
That's the
Chris Pratt.
the bear guy.
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, he was pretty dramatic at the end because
It was dramatic, but it just like didn't go to anywhere. Like he just kept getting shot, and then he was not alive anymore.
yeah.
Question, Dale. You mentioned in your review that you weren't pleased with some of the cast. Can you elaborate?
The girl, I don't remember her character's name or the actress's name, I felt like she had opportunities to be a more interesting character and just didn't make it work. She was just reading lines and standing around, and it's almost like they couldn't decide if they wanted to make her like they didn't make her a love interest because she was the widow and all of that, and they didn't make her like the badass. Like on the one hand, I'm really glad they didn't like stunt cast somebody like Jennifer Lawrence in that part and make it like, okay, obviously she's gonna win and be awesome and all that kind of thing. I don't think that the character was a bad idea or badly executed. I just felt like a couple of her line deliveries were things that could have been elevated that just weren't quite there. Vincent D'Onofrio's voice was kind of a weird choice that kind of diminished as the film went on. Like, he started talking really high at the beginning, and then he slowly kind of got more normal. But I thought he was fine, and I thought that was good to like differentiate him from all the other guys. Not that, he didn't blend in so much as like Ethan Hawke and Chris Pratt, and like there were a bunch of like samey looking white guys in the Magnificent Seven, but I couldn't tell you anything about the Mexican guy. I couldn't tell you much of anything about the Indian guy, I think there's probably people that'll see the movie and be really disappointed about how long it takes to get to the fighting. Like, it's really like a lot of setup and then 40 minutes of the ending fight.
It was true to the source material.
No, I agree with you. What I'm saying is that modern audiences, I think, will be bored by that part of it. And there were people in our audience that by the time the fight was over, they were like, okay, roll the credits. Like, we don't need any more wrap-up. Just, he's dead, great, roll the credits kind of thing. So,
I really was impressed with Denzel Washington. He fit really well in a Western.
Yeah, he was fine. A lot of the early scenes with him where he's anytime that he was indoors for like the first half hour of the movie, they shot everything so dark that you couldn't see anybody. Like,
yeah, when he first walked into the saloon, you couldn't really tell.
You couldn't make out like who it was or what he was saying, or like, I don't get why they shot it that dark, but okay.
I think it was a good movie for him. I think it's definitely a movie you're going to be like 10 years, 20 years from now and be like, Denzel Washington was in that movie? Oh.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he was a main character, but he didn't, like, this wasn't a standout role.
Right.
So, and I enjoyed that, because, I mean, a lot of times I love Denzel Washington, and I love his movies, and he's an amazing actor, but because you've seen him in so much, and because he's such a good actor, like, I may have a hard time falling in and out of his character.
Well, and this is an ensemble movie, and so if they had spent enough time with Denzel Washington to really make it a Denzel Washington movie, it would have even derailed the rest of it even more. Like I said, I don't feel like any of the characters got a whole lot of development. They give you like hints at what their backstories are and some things that have happened in their past, and I think he gets the most of all of that. You know, his kind of reveal at the end that he's got the like rope burns or whatever on his neck, and that whole thing is interesting. But yeah, I agree. Like, it's not going to be a movie that you remember as a great Denzel Washington performance, or anybody else in it for that matter. It's not like Vincent D'Onofrio. Now I'm going to mispronounce his name. Vincent D'Onofrio's amazing performance, or Chris Pratt's amazing performance.
Yeah, I liked the build-up. I actually liked the time. Like,
yeah.
I know that people are going to either love it or hate it, but I actually liked.
No, I think that's right. I think
time.
that's the right way to do it. I think otherwise you end up with a movie that feels like, you know, we absolutely don't know who the characters are, and it's just an excuse for there to be a fight scene. It's a Michael Bay movie at that point.
True.
So, but yeah, it's not going on my list of, like, if somebody said, like, I'm a big fan of Westerns, I wouldn't recommend this movie to them. Like, there's tons and tons of
original.
Well, and there's so many other good Westerns that are worth seeing, that are underappreciated, that kind of thing. I mentioned The Homesman earlier, but I mean, even movies like, you know, take your pick, either version of True Grit, you know, Unforgiven. There's better Westerns that have been made in the last 20, 30 years, so.
It's not done very often, but that's okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's The Magnificent Seven. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.